Hopefully that works. I've got my USB plugged into the phone, so sometimes if I do that, the mic doesn't work. So if someone could post that the mic works with the USB in, then we're rocking and rolling. I know it takes about 20 seconds, 30 seconds for it to go ahead, go live. Sometimes it's a little bit behind everything, so I know I have to just mumble on for like the first minute until someone goes, yeah, the sound works, or the sound doesn't work. So if someone can post that, that'd be pretty good. And then we'll get started on a little bit of a Q&A, stock market Q&A. And only half an hour today. Yeah, there we go. We got the sound. We got the sound. That's cool. Yeah, but only half an hour today. I say it every time. Only half an hour. It is only half an hour today. That is it. Okay. I've got my hand the time. When it gets to 10:30, I am going. We're not doing an hour stream. Happens every time. But yeah, yeah, 45 minutes then. It's always what seems to happen. Always goes wrong. Got Luke in the chat. Luke's famous on the Discord. Young investor. Scott's always in the comments. I know you've been posting a few questions recently, Scott. Fire on them here, because sometimes you ask like some really detailed questions, and I just can never answer them fully on YouTube. So fire a few on here. There's a few people here, to be fair. 37 so far. That's pretty good going. Ridwan says, hello, Jacob. When do you expect Beyond stock to start rallying 6 months from now? Yeah, 6 months from now for Beyond for me is probably where I see it going, because the thing is with Beyond is it has so much revenue from supermarkets, but a lot of the revenue as well comes from restaurants. Now at the moment, no restaurants are open. Well, some are, but not to full capacity. So when restaurants go back to full capacity, that's when Beyond Meats will do really well. So, and then you think about all the new deals they've had recently, like Pizza Hut and everything like that. Beyond, in my opinion, Beyond Meat share price in 6 months' time will be rallying into the $200 range. So yeah, for me, 6 months, and you'll start seeing Beyond Meats come out with some amazing earnings for sure. Yeah, that's where I think I'm at with Beyond Meats. So yeah, I think 6 months is where you'll probably see it go up quite a lot. Jad says, yo, my guy, what do you think about BNGO? I've heard this stock being talked about quite a bit. It seems like it's been, let me have a quick Google. It seems like it's caught it's the new hot stock on YouTube, if so to say. I know that it's, yeah, what is that? What's that? 46% in 1 day. And then after hours, it's up 30%. This is what makes me really nervous with these sort of companies. Literally, no one gave a crap about this company for the last, 2019, it was a $6 stock. It's fallen off a cliff into 2020, and then in 2020, literally, it's been it's been worth nothing. And then for some reason, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, why is the share price 6x in 1 day? That makes me a bit nervous. I mean, it's valued at a 500 million company. So I don't know. I'd have to have a proper look into it, but just that jump alone would make me really nervous. So I don't know. I'd have to proper look into it though. That's why I hate talking about stocks that I don't know about, because I could trash a really good company, but from what I can see right now, just looking at how horrible that chart is, and then for some reasons it's gone up, I would have to have a proper look into it, The Gerch is in the chat. The Gerch is always in the chat. Hitting the like button, nice. We're on 10 likes. I always like to finish a stream on 100 likes, so we'll see where we get to. Any thoughts on Lockheed Martin? I like it. It's a good stock. You'll never get crazy returns off it, but like you say, if you're doing it for a dividend growth play, it's certainly a good one for the portfolio, yeah. Matthew Roberts says, BNGO seems to be a pump and dump, all the usual YouTubers. Yeah, I would be it looks like to me it's a pump and dump. For that sort of action to be going like that, it seems like it's just, it seems crazy. Lewis says Walgreens, Boots, thoughts, undervalued and dividend player. Yeah, I used to own Walgreens. I actually ended up selling out at a loss. It's the first company I ever sold out at a loss on, and I'm not a huge fan of it. The reason why is I don't like the management team. I think they've poorly run the company over the last few years, so that's a bit of a problem. The debt has got a lot worse, and that obviously affects the dividend. And another thing as well is like Walgreens should have done really well over the last few months, and they did terrible. And I'm like, at this sort of time as a pharmacy, like you should have been like prioritizing, like, oh, we've got this COVID stuff here, we've got this COVID wipe here, and like everything like that. They should have been on it, like they should have had hand gels like lining like the front row of like the pharmacies and stuff like that, and it just didn't. And another thing as well about it is that Walgreens have been horrible over the last few years, and what they've done is they've gone to cost cutting, and one of the cost cutting things is they've had to cut the amount of stores they have. Now if you cut the amount of stores you have, are you going to achieve the same revenue? No. Are you going to achieve the same profit? No. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, the management are horrible. They've been horrible over the last few years. The best scenario that they could have had, they've not capitalized on it, and the company is going forward are horribly placed to like get revenues up, to get profit up, and they're going to get killed. I mean, Amazon's coming into this area, and Amazon. I mean, if Amazon comes into your area, you might as well pack your shop up now while it's making a profit. So a company that's already been dominated and struggling, and then Amazon comes in as well with that. I'm not a huge fan of Walgreens. No, it's one that I would not buy. I understand that it's definitely very cheap. I mean, what is it like is it like an 8p or something? But just because it's a cheap company doesn't mean it's a good company. That's the thing, that's you've got to look past the cheap valuation. And I'm like looking, well, why is Walgreens going to go up in the next few years? And I'm like, I generally can't think of a reason why Walgreens is going to go up. I know they're keen on the cost cutting, but cost cutting isn't going to put your revenue and profit up. So yeah, I mean, Walgreens for me is one that I would not touch at the moment, unless I saw a very big, clear plan of like how they're going to do really well. I would go for CVS Health over Walgreens. So yeah, hopefully, that was a long answer. Hopefully, we get no more questions about Walgreens. I forgot who asked the question. Was it Lewis? So Lewis, I hope that was useful for you. um, Let me try catch up. I talked so much about Walgreens there that I've totally lost where I am. Oh, that's you guys talking to each other. Harry Foster, how are you doing? Harry has a very good portfolio. Do you invest in gold, silver, planning to do with inflation or maybe another crash or correction due next year or two? Just opinion on it as well. Cheers, Jake. Yeah, with gold and silver, I can understand people are getting there, but I think I can't remember. I don't fully look at them, so I'm like I might look a bit of an idiot here, but I'm pretty sure either silver or gold literally did nothing for like the last 8 years because, and it's like if obviously gold and silver have been going up so much because of the money printing off all the time. But what happens if we get another situation where gold and silver don't do anything for 8 years? At least when you buy companies, you know that if a company grows profit and revenue, you're either going to get paid probably a dividend or a bigger dividend and the share price goes up. Where I'm looking at gold and silver, like there's no fundamental reason apart from if they print more money that is going to go up. And yeah, that's what I like. I like buying into stocks where I'm like, I know that company is going to go up because the profit and revenue is going up. Whereas gold and silver, literally, like I can't remember if it was gold or silver. Like the last few years, it literally did nothing, and that's what I don't want to get involved with. But yeah, exactly that. I mean, that's where I'm at with gold and silver at the moment. Um, Ryan Porter says thoughts on Gang. Yeah, I love Gang. It's had a very good run recently. Probably a little bit of a too good of a run, to be fair. So yeah, I mean it's probably due a pullback, but I mean the company the valuation it is at is very cheap, and I think the acquisition of Coolbet was very good as well the other day. I was actually running the numbers through, and I was like, if you add the revenue on top of what Gang does, this company is actually going to be really decently like this is quite a really good valuation for it. So yeah, I think Gang. Hopefully we get a few more. Obviously, it's relied on states being allowed, and that will happen. There's no doubt states are going to allow more and more gambling. The Michigan launch will be key as well. So yeah, Gang just needs the management just needs to get their act together of like giving some forecasts out. But I understand why they didn't do it. So yeah. Sarah G says, how much longer are you planning to hold National Express? Probably for like a good year or two. I would the next key thing for me is seeing when the dividend comes back, how much they pay back, because the average that I have will probably put me on like a good maybe like a 18% dividend yield or something. And if that is the case, I'll be like, why I'm not going to probably sell out of a company that I get 18% dividend on every year. So if that's the case, I will hold it for a very long time. If National Express comes from a point of view of like they don't come back to paying the dividend so much, then we might see what scenario we're in. So I'm kind of playing that in the head at the moment. I'm definitely not selling out anytime soon. That's all I can give you on that one. The next key thing for me is what dividend I get. So yeah, that's probably where I'm at with it. For in the UK says Jan 15th Michigan vote. Yeah, I know they have delayed it. And that's what I said. Like the Gang's management team was like, yeah, we're not giving guidance out because we're probably going to get it wrong. And at the time, I was like, what are you playing at? You should be giving guidance out. That's why the stock's gone down. But it was actually the right decision because if they like put guidance out with like Michigan numbers in from January, they would have got probably like missed a lot of their earnings, which would have been even worse. So even though I slated Gang a while back, they probably actually made the management team actually made the right decision. But they do need to start like being a bit more like feeding scraps to investors. Like if you listen to Tattoo Chef the other day, they were like, yeah, we're going to absolutely kill it because we've gone up to all these people and we might get getting into these stores and everything like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it really. Um, Jane Jones says, hi, Jacob. Saw the Daily Mail choose. I didn't know Daily Mail it talks about stocks that much. I don't read it. S4 Capital is one of the top picks for 2021. I have a small position just under £5. If it raises slightly, is it worth adding more? Yeah, when I ran the numbers on S4 Capital, if they can put the revenue in that they're supposed to do, that valuation looks so cheap for what it's valued at. So yeah, I think it is dirt cheap. I've just seen Scott, you tried to send a message. Hold on. If I click that, there you go. You tried to reply to someone and send an email and it picks it up as spam. If only like normal YouTube was good as this, like literally my comments are filled with like people like spam comments. Why is it not as good as this live stream? But yeah, you're sending an email to someone and YouTube picked up spam and allowed it across. So you should be all right there. Chris says, I know you like Callaway. Any thoughts on Drive Shack? I I don't know if it's the right company. I believe I've looked into it though, and when I looked into it, I think they're burning through a lot more cash and they're quite far off profit. And I think that's what puts me off it. And I think Callaway will outperform them. So if it is the right company, that's where I'm at. But don't hold me to it. I might be looking in the total wrong company. So yeah. Fubo TV, mine. I've heard some things about it, but I've not looked. Oh, Kerry Stale. They did a short article on it. I'm guessing they were the guys that did Tattoo Chef as well. I think. So yeah, I won't listen too much if it is the same company. Sam says legal and general hold or sell now, as they are in a good place. I would still hold legal in general. A lot more upside. You'll get a good dividend yield. I think it's great diversity for the portfolio. So yeah, I won't worry about that too much. Harry says, any thoughts on new on new? I'm not sure how you actually say that name. Technology, Chinese electric bikes. Yeah, I've looked into them. They're very interesting. I wouldn't, from what I've seen, I wouldn't blame you for having a bit of a play on them. They do look quite interesting. So yeah. Kane says, when will you sell out of Boohoo? I'm currently up to 18%. I'm not sure when to sell. For me, Boohoo is a company that is my biggest holding. So I'm kind of like trimming out of that slightly, but a lot of them shares I'm holding for a long time. It's a company that will probably go above £5 at some point. When it depend if they dominate that US growth that they're currently doing, then that could be an amazing return for the company. It's just one of those where it's very volatile, and that's the thing you've also got to be careful of. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Boohoo, and if you're up 18% and you're in it at the moment, I definitely won't worry too much about selling out of it if you're a long-term investor, that is. So yeah. Scott says Rocket must be good at $20 to $21. Yeah, it's definitely very interesting. I would rate it a buy. The only thing I have a worry on is that how many people have like remortgaged because interest rates are so low, and like 2 years in the line of people have come in this like last period, and more remortgage applications and everything like that will like slow down the next 2 years because everyone that was supposed to do it has come forward and done it, and that's my worry with Rocket, and that's personally why I've never actually bought into the company. But apart from that, I do like the growth. I like the management. I like the balance sheet. Yeah, so I think it's good. I think that's the only thing that has ever stopped me from getting across the line with Rocket. But yeah. Um, I've Hoggy Bear. Have you heard of SG Blocks? I think I've heard of it. It's a company I believe that is it the company that uses containers to build, well, to make buildings? I think I've heard of it. If it's a company I'm thinking of, I did look into it. I'm pretty sure I did not like it for some reason. But once again, like I'm not sure if I'm talking about the right company, you see. But I think when I looked into it, I think they're burning through a lot of cash, and I think that's what made me nervous. But I'm not sure if it's the right company. So yeah. Alan Fletcher says, I've been trading with small amounts as I'm new to this. I'm looking to invest more significant now. What am I doing? Should I do a big chunk or keep building slowly? Well, it depends because I mean, you use the word trading and invest there. So if you're trading, that seems like you're a day trader to me, and that's not what I focus on. I'm an investor. I'm a long-term investor. If that's what you mean as an investor, and that's what you're looking to do, certainly don't go all in at once, because what happens if you go all in once and next week the stock market crashes 20%, and you could have got all the stocks you just bought on a 20% dip? You'd be like, oh, damn, you know. So yeah, definitely always like keep a cash pile, hedge yourself in slowly, and that's the best way to do it. So yeah. Louis says gang price thoughts by next year. Yahoo and Simple Wall Street doing it good by average around 30 mark currently. Yeah, I mean, gang for me definitely will be. It should be a lot higher than what it is, especially if it puts in the revenue growth and profit growth it should do. I would say 30 would be about fair for it. Yeah. Questions move so quick there. I totally missed a few questions. Lewis says, should we sell? There's a lot of Lewis's in this chat. Should we all sell Workhorse now? Personally, if you're still holding it, I would hold out for the United States Parcel Service contract. I think that will be the game changer. If they land that, the stock will go up a fair chunk. Yeah. Sheraja? I'm sorry, I probably just totally murdered your name there. But can you do a video on Nano Dimensions? I've heard this one talked about quite a bit. I think it's one of those. I'm a bit nervous that let me have a quick Google of this. Nano Dimensions stock. I think it's one of these where it's like it's come out of nowhere and it's like just shot up. Yeah, like literally the company, where we at here. So the company came onto the stock market in 2015 at $80, and literally the stock has just fallen off a cliff. And yeah, I mean it's just gone down, 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 down. And literally it was like a $2 stock. And then for some reason in September, the stock has just gone up like 5 times, and the company's now trading at a 1.5 billion market cap. So I would have to have a proper look into what is going on. But just the fact that it's gone up 5 times what it was in a few months, and it's now a 1.5 billion company from where it would have been about a 200 million company, would make me really, really nervous. Obviously, there's definitely been some sort of boom. What's caused that? But yeah, that's where I would say I would be very. I've seen a lot of people here posting about ARK buying them. That could be a good catalyst. Why? But yeah, I'd have to have a proper look into it. You know, there actually might be some. If Cafe Woods and ARK are like buying this, there must be some interesting reason why they want to buy it. So yeah, Yeah, I can't, I hate talking about companies that I don't own and don't know, because sometimes I can say some things and I might be talking rubbish about a company that I would actually like to buy. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much more about it. um, yeah, everyone's like, come on, how do you not know that? It's hard to keep up with so many companies. um, OGM 545 says Smile Direct Club a buy. Not looked into the company for a while, but when I did check, they're doing some really interesting things. I think the balance sheet's okay. I think the growth's pretty decent. It's like a competitor with Line, and Line's been so successful. So yeah, I mean, it definitely has potential. I would have to have a proper look into the company, but from what I've seen, it does have some room to go. So yeah. Aaron says, "Hey Jacob, what's your opinion on Greg's now? I'm feeling it a slower burner and may take my profit and double down on Tattoo Chef as it has much greater return long term, in my opinion." Jeremy Pump today. Um, Without doubt, Tattoo Chef will outperform Greg's 100%, because you're buying a company that is that's at the early stages, that is going to give you massive growth. So it's going to do amazing. But the thing is, as well, is like having a diverse portfolio. And it's all well and good having like so many growth companies. And if you want to get some exposure to the UK, you're looking at Greg's and you're like, well, this company is very cheap. It's going to offer you a lot more share price. It's already a built up company. It's going to give you a good dividend. And that just goes down to you as an investor. You can move across to Tattoo Chef. Um, and that would be, fine. Both companies are amazing. It just goes on, do you diversity and everything like that, So yeah, I mean, if you want my opinion, Tattoo Chef will outperform Greg's, but it's just how diverse you want to be. So yeah. Um, what's my views on DraftKings? I like it. I like it under $40 though. So yeah. OGM 545 says, have I looked into Golden Nugget? Yeah, I did a video on it. I like it. I'm just a bit nervous on the management team. The questions move so quick. I was reading questions. I just went, the Gert says in mode, where do you expect this to reach a good sell price? I don't know, but I do know that I expect it to be a company that goes into the 100% return club this year in 2021. So I'm not close to selling it. I just think there's a lot more upside yet. So yeah. How many people are here? 141 people. Damn, it's a lot of people here. I thought you'd all be hungover. Um, Scott, I've not looked into that company. Not heard of them either. Chris, I'm not in Lemonade. Nope. It's me says, what's your thoughts on Neo? I like them. I just want to see them develop a little bit more and then hopefully have a little bit of a drop, and then you might see me buying. So yeah, I like it. I am a fan of it. Thoughts on Uber? I'm up 40%, but not sure. I used to own Uber. I sold out at 30%. I just was like, they're just burning through so much cash. It made me a little bit nervous. And they were so far off profitability, and the COVID has obviously hurt them. So yeah. Your choice, really. Obviously, you got a great averaging price there, but yeah, that's where I was at with it. Um, the questions move so quick. I'm really sorry because I'm missing so many questions. um, Jordan Mills says, when you add a new position, do you look to sell a position to keep total number of investments down? Yeah, I like to keep my portfolios under 15 stocks. So if my portfolio starts going like up above that, I'm like, my head, my thinking starts going, right, in the next 12 months, I need to start looking at companies to sell a little bit and rebalance it, because like keeping up with that many companies starts to become a bit of a nightmare. So yeah. David says, any views on PayPal long term? I like it. Great company. Um, Harry says, what made you want to invest in property rather than put money into the stock market? Just because I got a good opportunity on some property, I guess. Like it was very cheap and the upside, and also it's very diverse. Like with stocks, every like bit of money you make, you end up putting back in. Well, I normally do. With property, it's like it's a nice little payment every month that kind of it does normally end up in stocks, but yeah, it's a nice little regular payment every month. So yeah, it's a good diverse portfolio really to have, stocks, property, everything like that. So yeah. Lewis says, is InMode still a buy? Yeah. I mean, the Ford P is still dirt cheap on it, so it's a great company. Scott, I would buy Facebook under $250, 100%. Roger says, am I too late to get in Boohoo at £3.43? No, but I would definitely pray and ask the Guardian to write a negative article, and then hopefully it goes down. So that's what I'd say about Boohoo. Matthew Roberts says, three of most undervalued stocks in my opinion. Oh, that is a tricky question. I would say Beyond Meat, Alibaba, here, maybe. There's a few I could put in that list. Ralph says, do I still think the market's overvalued? Yeah, but there's nowhere else for the money to go. While interest rates are so low, people are forced into the stock market. And yeah, especially when all this stimulus checks coming out as well. Like, there's no way it's going to go down anytime soon. So yeah, unfortunately, if we're going to see a stock crash, it will not be for a little bit, I don't think, even though we are overvalued. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It seems like every single crisis, the natural response now is just to print money off. Imran says, sorry, wanted to check your view on Howden. I've not looked into them from a while, so I can't give you too much information. Sorry. AJ says, gangster buy. Yep, 100%. Chris says, on Trading 2 and 2, the top pie on the list, what are your thoughts? I don't look at the pie, so I do not know what that pie is. So sorry. Aaron says, have you seen Emmanuel's recent video on penny stock DSGT? If so, any thoughts? I've not seen it and I don't know the stock, so I cannot give you too much information. Harry says, any thoughts on Biome? No, I think I've heard of that company. I've heard of it, but I can't remember exactly what it is. JD says, do you have a top price on Tattoo Chef that you'd consider too high to buy in? I think probably it's difficult because Tattoo Chef actually has the potential to be what is it, like a 1 billion company right now? It actually has the potential to be like a 5 billion company or something. And so in that point of view, you'd say whatever price it is, like in a 1 billion market cap, is probably cheap. But yeah, I mean, personally, I would prefer to get it under $23 personally. Hi Jacob, what's your thoughts on SPACs? SPACs. I mean, SPACs normally have this cycle, don't they, where it announce who they're merging with, the hype builds up, the merger date announces, and then it just sells off when the merger happens. And then, I mean, there's kind of it's a bit like a day trader thing, a bit more of a hype thing at the moment. But there's definitely some really good SPACs out there for sure, and it's a great way for companies to come public because they just get so much cash and helps with the growth so much. I mean, look at the benefit it's done for Tattoo Chef. Like their cash pile is huge now, and they paid so much debt off. So yeah, it really works for companies. You've just got to be really careful because they can be dominated with a lot of day traders and stuff. So I only tend to buy SPACs that I'm like, if worse comes to worse, would I hold this? If I was going to say something that I can't say. If it gets really tough, would I be willing to hold that in the sticky situations? And so I'm only buying companies that are coming through SPACs I will be willing to hold for long term. So that's why you've seen me buy Tattoo Chef. I'm willing to hold that for a long term, even if it went down. And companies like Skills, I'm willing to hold that for a long term because I believe that will do really well. So those are the only SPACs I'm looking for. Like the last couple of SPACs I've seen that I've been looking into, I've been like, yeah, it's okay, but I'm not I'm not a massive fan of it. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. There's some good opportunities, but you just got to be really careful because if you're an investor like me and you're going into stocks that are heavily day traded, it could come a bad situation for you. So that's where I'm at with them. Let me just, where am I at on these questions? Have I looked into plug power? I think I have, but I can't remember the ins and outs. Phil says, what would you invest in the UK? I've got portfolio reviews out here. If you go on my videos, you can see my whole portfolio. And every company that's in there, I think it's a pretty decent company. Imran says, do you hold any shares in the UK maker Arrival? No, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of that company. Ralph says, Tesla YouTube channels, do you think they're really invested in the stock? I would think so, yeah. Kalane, I hope I said that right. Do you think YouTubers over promote workhorse to pump the stock? Um, I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, if if you if you buy a company, then you're obviously going to talk about it positively. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, obviously you have gains to make, but I don't know. I mean, every company that I buy, I mean, I don't really. I mean, I haven't got really the audience to pump a stock, but every company that I buy generally, like I think will go up, and that's why I put my money in it. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's definitely people that have the audience that if they can use it to the advantage, they can do. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, but yeah, I think there's something you do have to be a little bit careful of. But yeah, Ryan says, what price would you buy Beyond Meat at? Anything where it is right now. Ivana says, what about Virgin Galactic? I'm not a fan of that one. The thing that makes me really nervous with Virgin Galactic is like if they went off one day and it blew up, like it's game over, and that's it. And the chances of something like that actually happening, unfortunately, are like quite high. Not like like 50%, anything like that, but like it's happened. It's happened to them before. It's crashed before. And if that happens again, it's game over. So, um, yeah, I mean, crazy. Uh, Ultimate United 2000 says, how much did you start with when you started your investing journey, and is 1K enough to start with? Yeah, 1K is a fair amount. Like I would split it between like 4 or 5 companies. And yeah, I think that's definitely a fair amount. Ever here on the market? I've heard it's on the stock market, but I can't find it. I need to have a proper look into it. Savvy Money Show, always in the live streams. Always in the live streams. How are you doing? What do you think of SG blocks? Someone actually asked that question a little bit earlier. I think I've looked into it, and when I looked into it, I think they're burning through a lot of money, and I think that was the reason why I didn't look into it any further. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's the right company, but I think if that is the right company, I think that is why I didn't look into it much further. So yeah. Andrew Bruce says, how much faith should I be put into share price forecasts on CNN? Um, it, you can take them into considerations, but your sole confidence on it is where you should see it. Like you should be working out valuations, the bull case, and you should pretend you're like an analyst and you're putting your own price target on it. So take it into consideration, but the most important opinion is your own. Analysts do get things wrong, so you should always consider that. Savvy says Money Show, they're debt free now. They could be debt free, but I think it was the amount of money they were losing a year. Like I say, I'm not sure if I'm on about the right company, but I think that is what the red flag was. So yeah. Book says, hi Jacob, have you thought about doing a public account portfolio? I have. It would just, the thing is like I'd have to save some money up, and I always end up putting it in my portfolio. And yeah, it's something that I thought about. It's just getting like some money together that I don't end up spending and I can use. So yeah, it's something I might try. It's me says your opinion on Kramer, entertainment only. Never take his opinion as investing advice. Entertainment only. Rick Game says, as EV cars are doing well, will electric planes be ones to watch? I think last time I checked, like they cannot get enough power for like planes to fly that long. I think the furthest they've got at the moment is like 20 minutes or something. So I think the technology is not there for electric planes yet, but I'm not 100% sure. Umar says, thank you for the late night session. There's no problem. You're always in the live streams. You're always on the live streams. Do trading 2 and 2 make money off each trade? Although free fee, there's a small margin. Yep, they do. Yep. Even though they say it's free, it's not free. They do take a little bit of money. Penny says, hi, do you like National Express? Must be new to the channel. We were a big fan of National Express on here. What do I think of Airbnb? I like it. I don't like the valuation. It has to come down to be a better valuation for me where I could buy. Umar, I've not looked into that company at all. James says, what price would I buy Nvidia? I've not looked into Nvidia for a very long time, so I could not tell you. But I do like the company. Do you expect 2021 to be a better year for stocks than 2020? I think because of the gains that we've been on, I can't see us going up that much. So yeah, I don't think it'll be an amazing year, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Matt says, what site do you use to find the forward PE? I just Google. It's normally like Guru or something that comes up, Guru Focus, I think they call or something. Yeah, just like Google, like I don't know, Apple forward PE, and someone will come up in the Google search engine. Harry says there's no chance of electric planes. Yeah, I can't exactly remember like what I last saw on it, but I generally think like they can't get enough power to fly them for that long, and I think it's only like 20 minutes. But Harry might know this answer better than me, so yeah. Ultimate United 2000 with a £1 donation. Thank you so much. You should have kept that to help your portfolio out, but hey, thank you so much. I want should stick a question on it, and then I'll get a question back to you and answer it. Shaf says, where's your go-to information regarding companies you looking at, and what other sites would you consider in order to complete your initial research? Normally Yahoo Finance and Simple Wall Street are my two. When I start looking into a company, those are the two that I normally go to. So yeah. Ralph says, your Patreon group, if I join, do you do portfolio reviews? Yes. So on the Patreon at the moment, so on the Patreon, there's posts when I buy and sell. There's also a Discord group, so I'm obviously in the Discord group. There's other investors, there's some really good investors in there as well, that talk about stocks. And then there's exclusive content on there. So there's a video series that I haven't done as much at the moment, but there's like a video series where I talk about like my thoughts on the stock market, where I'd be looking at, like what I'd be on a cash position for everything. And then I just generally do like a Q&A like this, but like people put stocks to me, and I actually like research the stocks on the live stream and like break it down like that. So there's that I do on it. There's also the portfolio reviews on there. So yeah, there's normally like 2 portfolios a week, so you can kind of check other people's portfolios out. You can obviously send yours in and get it reviewed. It's currently there's currently I think 270 members, and there's currently I think 10 people in the waiting list. So there's a little bit of a waiting list, but we're going through about 2 a week at the moment. So yeah, there's like 2 exclusive videos every week on Patreon as well. So, and it's £5. So I think like when you consider like the the information you get, the portfolio reviews you get, the stocks, I mean for £5, like you earn it off like Jet2 and National Express gains this year. Like for me, like it's definitely worth it. And I'm not trying to be biased because it's me that obviously runs it, but I think it is definitely well worth it in my opinion. Best best YouTuber to trust. I don't know. There's a lot of good YouTubers out there. Ultimate United 2000 £2 donation. If I have £200, should I get Huya or Alibaba? Oh, that is a tricky one. Um, because you're starting off, that's a tricky one because I like both of them. I would tend to say Alibaba because it's a big blue chip company, and as a new investor, like you need to get used to like stomaching when stocks go down and everything like that. And Huya will be a lot more volatile than what Alibaba will definitely be. But I do believe Huya will outperform Alibaba. So it's difficult because if you're asking me like which will give the better returns, I would say Huya. But if you're a new investor and obviously you have to get used to that volatility, I would say Alibaba is probably the better pick for you. But yeah, in my opinion, that's what I would say. Savvy Money Show says Harry Keller, a company, is looking into a new type of battery that uses the plane's fuselage as a battery and the whole of the outside of the plane with a lightweight battery, of course, years away. Yeah, I know they're quite far off. Thanks, Scott. Luke Ferguson, how are you doing? Alibaba and other Chinese stocks take up a lot of my portfolio now. Is that a bit of a risky? Is that a bit risky? Not as long as you're not crazy. Like I think like it's good to have some Chinese exposure, but I would say like 20-30% is probably where you would go to. So yeah. It's me says, what is your total return since inception percentage? Obviously, I don't know. I do not know. This year I did over 100% return in the stock market. So yeah, this year's been my best year by far. But I mean, obviously the stock market's just helped so much. So yeah, I mean, 100% return is pretty good. I think last year was like 35%, and then I believe 2018 was. I think 2018 was something like 25% maybe. I'm not sure. And then I think 2017 was like 50%. So I think that is roughly like my average return over the last few years. But don't hold me to it because I forget things. The best thing to do is that I've done my portfolio review series like for the last 3 years. So if you go on that and like go on my past videos, you'll be able to see my return every year. So that will have the 100% return what I did do. But if you're asking me right now to like guess, I think that is about it. But yeah. Canadian Solar, I've not looked into it for a while. But yeah, I like Visa. I think Canadian Solar could do quite well though. Imagine if that happened, David. I couldn't. That would be like that 2020. If that happened, 2021 would actually top 2020. I could create my own ETF, but it's a nightmare to run. Football Index Tipster says, do you invest in dividend stocks like GlaxoSmith or only growth stocks? I'm not a huge fan of GlaxoSmith because I don't like getting dividends because you limit yourself so much. Like if you get dividends, you get like what, a 3% return every year, and that can be wiped out by the share price gain of the stock. So for me, I like growth stocks, because with growth stocks is how you beat the market. So yeah, I'm more of a growth stock investor. If I were going to dividend, I won't probably buy GlaxoSmith either. So yeah. Cineworld, got a long history on that one. In my opinion, there's so much debt on Cineworld. The film industry is like not going to be anywhere near where it was the last few years. So I personally won't touch Cineworld right now. 50K, I would go stocks, because if you can do stocks right, you'll get a far better return than what you'll ever do on real estate. But that's just my opinion. Favorite housing developer? I'm swayed between Taylor Wimpey and Barratt Developments, so either of them two. Book says, any dirt cheap value stocks in the UK? There's some. The hard thing about the UK is that because it's just been so cheap for 5 months, and then we got to the vaccine news and everything just went, and you're like, you look at prices that were at 3 months ago, and you're like, nah, it's not cheap anymore. So I mean, generally, when you look at a lot of stock prices, a lot of them are still cheap. Like Hollywood Bowl is still nowhere near what it was at, and that's still quite cheap and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of them are still cheap. It's just that they were a lot cheaper a few months ago. But I mean, I'm swayed to like Card Factory and S4 Capital. Those are the two that stand out to me for being like really cheap. So yeah. Ultimate again. I got Tesla at 545. Should I hold? If you're a long-term investor, I would definitely hold. If you're a long-term investor, I would definitely hold Tesla because it will do really well. Yeah, I mean, for me, Tesla's a buy. It will do really well. So yeah, if you're a long-term investor, don't worry about it. Gody 1000, always in the comments. What percentage do you think UK market will drop, if at all, due to latest lockdown? I think it's all priced in. I generally think we might sway around a little bit, like 5%, but nothing more than that. I think all the investors now are like, we're going to get a vaccine rollout, and in the next 3 months, from April time, let's say, the economy is going to slowly ease, and then by June time, we're going to be pretty much there. Back end of the year, we'll get back to normal. And I think all investors have that mindset right now. So I think the economy will maybe sway down 5%, but I think we are pretty much bottom of the bottom where we can be pretty much now. So yeah, you got to try think like a little bit ahead. The stock market always thinks like 3 months ahead, so that's where you need to be. Tom says his Card Factory short term. Card Factory is a turnaround play. So with Card Factory, I'm at the view of like, right, the company is priced like it's going to go bankrupt. So is Card Factory going to go bankrupt, or can they turn it around? Very much like Walgreens. And Card Factory is at that point, can the company turn it around? And that's what I'm looking at. And in my opinion, they will turn it around. So yeah, it's a turnaround play. 154 people watching. Wow. Only 59 likes. That can easily be 100. If you're watching this and you haven't liked it yet, let's get that to 100. Come on. Epic. 30 minutes. Yeah, what we on? And nearly an hour. I actually really enjoy the live streams. That's the problem. I got tomorrow's video to edit after this as well. Roger says, have you looked at Red Row? As I'm see, you can tell I'm 50 minutes in. I can't say my words now. As I'm torn between them and Taylor Wimpey. I prefer Taylor Wimpey, but Red Row is still a great company. So hopefully that helps you. Lamel Messi. There's always one. We got past it now, though. We're on 85. There is some ARK ETFs on Trading 212 now. Yeah, there is. I also believe you can actually buy the proper ETFs on Etoro now. So it's worth checking that one out. If you do want to join an Etoro account, there's a link in the description. And if you join through there, that'll be pretty good. So yeah. Exactly, Gody. Hit the likes. We're on 84 likes. You know what I might do? I might just stop the stream and sit here for like 30 seconds. And if it don't get to 100 likes, I'm just going to go. And if it gets to 100 likes, I'll stay another 10 minutes. That's a good way to get up to 100 likes. Yeah, Red Rose is a good company. Like, even though I don't own it, I appreciate it. It's a great company. Persimmon's good. Yeah, Persimmon's still good. How do I like iPhone XR? I'm not sure what you mean, James. Do you mean do I like the phone? I'm not sure. Boeing or RTX? Like them both, but I would go Boeing. Thoughts on Walmart, Target, Costco? I would go Costco out of all of them. Um, but yeah, Walmart's doing well to turn around the online sales. Cody says 4 dislikes. Oh yeah, did not notice that. I think sometimes people get annoyed that I don't get to the questions, but it's actually really hard because sometimes they just come through so quick. I try and get to as many as I can. Baidu, I just like other stocks better than Baidu, but I would rate it a buy. Cheap UK banks like Barclays. Yeah, I like Barclays. It's probably my favorite UK bank. Um, if yeah, I mean, Harry, if you've got 50 companies, if you can keep them all, that's fine. But yeah, if you can keep up to them, that's fine. But if you can't keep up to like every earnings, then I'd probably, look at trimming. So yeah, Ultimate United, man, you keep your money now. Keep it. Thank you so much, but you keep it. Um, there is the ARC ETS on Trading with Sue. It's the pies, and then you can buy it. Trading with CJ, join the live stream. How are you doing? Ultimate United, CG Project, Red Stock dropping. I've not looked into it. I know it's dropped because of the Cyberpunk thing, but I've not looked into it properly. Harry, I've not heard of that company. I'll have to have a look into it. Paul says Solid Airline. Jet2 is the one. Amazing company, and it's a UK company. Great growth, great balance, great management team. Really, really good company. Scott says, save your money. Trading with CJ says, have you managed to get hold of any Tattoo Chef products? I tried going to Costco, mission failed. No, but to be fair, I've not been to a Costco yet. But yeah, I've heard the just like the last month is when they've started sending them over to the Costco. So I'm sure they'll be ramping up more and more. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be amount of time, only a small amount of time until they start coming to your Costco. I will see if I can get down to one and have a look. But the reviews are pretty good, aren't they? So yeah, I know you're a fan of Tattoo Chef as well. It's me says if you could only invest in one stock or ETF this year, what would it be? That's so tricky. That's so tricky. There's I couldn't pick one company. Couldn't pick one company. Keenan, we covered SPACs a little bit earlier, so if you go back and rewatch this live stream when you're done, I talk about SPACs for a little bit. Um, the Melmesset, it's a stock that I'm currently looking into. I'm not sure how much I like the growth side of it, but I mean, same point of view is like when bars and like restaurants open back up, it's surely got to do well. So I'm interested in it. I'm not sure. Um, that's where I'm at with that one. It's very similar to like Wetherspoons. Like it's on that sort of level of like I'm sure they will do really well when everyone's like I'm free to go back outside again. But I don't know. There's just something stopping me from going over the edge at the moment. So yeah, 100 likes, yes. Michael says, how do you come to terms with stock shooting up as soon as you sell them? Happens to me a few times now. I just don't worry about it. Like as soon as I sell it, like I have no emotions to the stock, and like as soon as I sell it, it's like dead to me. Like I'm not bothered. Like it's a money game. I don't really like try and think about things because all it does is like you're like looking at a stock going, oh, it's gone up another 5%. And then while you're doing that, like the next opportunity you could have had to buy 100% a stock that gives you 100% return, you've kind of like missed it because you're so bothered about the stock that you sold. So there's going to be a few times where like, that's going to happen to you, but just don't let it bother you. Um, you know, Daniel says about Greg's exit, no time soon at the moment. Yeah, I think Ultimate United has stolen the stream today. This is his stream. Ryan, I've seen you put EV in stock, but I missed your question, so I'm so sorry. Alpine 4, I've not looked into it, but I think it's one of those other stories of like, why has it gone up so quick? That's the big thing that worries me. It seems like a bit more of a trading stock rather than an investment. Do you think Skills has a massive future? Yeah, I mean, look at the growth on it. It has an amazing future. So I've just missed a few questions here. JK says, he's trying to steal my name. DEGIRO or Etoro? Probably DEGIRO. I am going to totally murder this name. Gruchit Singh. Thoughts on Longview. I've not looked into it. Sorry. Darren T, about selling a stock. That is a very hard question to answer on a live stream. But basically, like, just look at big valuations, like the profit, the revenue, work out its future revenue and profit, its P ratio, its PS ratio, everything like that. It's very hard to just do that and to answer it. Name one stock that would be a good buy to look at in 1 year for now. Oh, that is, I mean, Huya, Alibaba, Airbnb, Meat, Tattoo Chef. There's loads. Not looked into purple bricks for a while. Sorry. Yeah, I've not looked into Plantair for a bit. I need to look into it. When I'm planning to buy Planet 13, probably under $5 is where I'd be interested. So I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of a pullback. Plant X. I don't know Plant X. Is that Planet 13? I don't know Plant X. Trading with CJ says Airbnb still overvalued. Yeah, I mean, it is overvalued. I mean, what is it like I can't even remember. Is it like a 13 billion company? Hold on. You know what? I'm going to look. Airbnb stock. $146. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. $146. Man, the company is 90 billion. 90 billion. And it does 3 billion in revenue. Yeah, it's overvalued. Still overvalued. I mean, this would have to get down to $100 for me to even think, okay. But yeah, it is way overvalued. Like if I had to pick a company to short on the stock market, I might go for Airbnb. That's how overvalued I think it is right now. Yeah. Do I look at stock twits? Yeah, sometimes for a laugh. It's full of a lot of short sellers. Do I trade any penny stocks? Nope. I don't think I've ever bought a penny stock. I guess the closest I've ever been is Planet 13. Dropbox is still a buy, yeah. Sean says, what size portfolio do you think I would need to start doing it full time? I would never do it full time because then I'm relying on gains. It puts that pressure on you to like get regains and you're taking money out to live off. So I would never live off my stock market portfolio. I would hope one time I would get to a point where dividends would be enough to live off. and hopefully that will be the point in like 30 years time, 40 years time. But yeah, I I don't want to ever do it, to be fair. There's a lot of Planet X. I have never looked into this company. I am going to look into this company. Planet. I keep saying Planet, don't I? Plantex. Plant X stock. CNSX. What exchange is that? Is that the Canadian exchange? I believe it is. What is it? 127 million market cap company. So it's valued pretty cheap. It's had a little bit of a shoot up in August. Then it fell off a cliff in October. Had a little bit more of a shoot. Oh, this is penny stocks for you. I've got a feeling this is the Canadian stock exchange, is this? Can I have a look? Let me have a look. Let me see what kind of revenue they're putting in. Did it come up? Oh my goodness. It's not in dollars. It says here, and this is only the clip of a small article, that I think it says that it's going to do 2.3 million in revenue. I think. I don't know if that's correct. This is why I don't like looking at companies in streams, because I just go quiet and I start looking and I just stop talking. Yeah, I mean, if it's not terribly valued, I guess. Yeah, obviously you'd have to do a lot more research than what I'm doing here, but it looks interesting. Might have a look at it later on. Where am I off? Where's the questions? Here we go. Dividends, they say 4% rule. So if you have a salary of 20k, you need a 500k pot to achieve it this year. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it, when you start actually going, how much money? Long time yet, but what should we do when trading 2 and 2 portfolio hits 85k? As that's the no, that's covered by cash. So if you buy over 85k in stocks, you own the stocks. You know, trading 2 and 2 don't own the stocks. You are the owner of the stock. So if you had them shares and anything was to happen to trading 2 and 2, your name's on them shares. You just go to a broker and you're like, hey, I own these shares, and they'll transfer you across from them. That's the cash, is that? So yeah. Trading with CJ says it's not on trading 2 and 2 yet. Gody, yeah, Gody got it spot on straight away there. Yeah, you own the stocks. Rick says, "What type of coffee I'm going to get from Greg's?" I'm not a big coffee drinker. I am a massive tea drinker. I am a classic British person. I love cups of tea. I don't mind a coffee. Vanilla coffee. I like lattes. Vanilla lattes is like, if that's my go-to drink. Yeah, it's like a sausage sarnie and a cup of tea for like £1.99. That's my Greg's go-to. Darren says, have I looked into K3 Capital? I have a feeling I have done, but I can't remember it. Fred says, do I own Facebook? Yeah, great company. When people ask me, like, what's your number one company? I always go with Facebook. Facebook for me is a great company. Jordan, you can't do this to me. Tattoo Chef or Beyond. Oh, that is tricky. I would probably go at the current valuation, Tattoo Chef. Never owned a penny stock tracer, no. Sam says, what about Freetrade? Yeah, it's a good platform. I like Freetrade. Um, I've got a link in the description where if you join through Freetrade, you get a free share. It's a great platform. Yeah. I still say trading 212 is probably slightly ahead of Freetrade, but the last few years have been amazing for Freetrade. Like it's actually giving trading 212 a run for its money now, I think. Yeah, that's the only downside is that you got to play for a lot of the like plus options for it. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with trading with CJ. Like the vegetarian vegan market's going to be crazy. Scott says, "How come I don't have a 5G play?" Mostly because I slept on Qualcomm and Skyworks Solutions. Yeah, probably one of those things. Like I was like, I'll have a look into it one day, and I never did, and I should have done. So yeah, no, I think I might have heard of that vegetarian butcher, but I've not looked into them. Would you set up a pie with the FANG stocks in and just invest regularly? I mean, you could do. You'll never have like crazy returns from them, but it will definitely work out for you. Who do I like to watch on YouTube for investing advice and stock tips, news? What stocks do you rate for 2021? Oh, that's a lot of questions there, Julie. YouTube wise, there's quite a few guys that I try and watch when I've got time. There's Trading with CJ in this chat. I like trading with CJ. Another one of the British YouTubers out there. There's not many of us. We're all kind of like in our small little bubble, I guess. And yeah, I think trading with CJ has quite a few similar opinions to me as well. So I do like listening to trading with CJ. On the British side, I've got to go to Emmanuel Finance as well. Done a podcast with him before, which was really good, and he's a good guy. So yeah, manual finance as well on the British side of it. Um, US side of it, I guess Jeremy at Financial Education. I think when he does a lot of his educational videos, there is great stuff out there for even experienced guys. But I was going to say beginners, but even some of the stuff out for experienced guys is like really good reminders. There's another one called Jazz Wealth. I like listening to them guys. They do like a recap of the market every day. They're pretty decent. So yeah, Jazz Wells, another good American one that I like listening to. Um, there's another guy called Matthew Hugh, I think it is. Um, I've only been listening to him for like the last month, but he's a little bit more on like a bit more like I'd say hype stocks a little bit more. But he still picks some like really good long term investments as well. So I like listening to both sides of it because sometimes he'll talk about some of the new stocks that are in the news and I'm totally miss out on. So yeah, I think there's a few guys. I mean, I probably missed a few really good guys out there, to be fair. So yeah. OGM says, "How do I come better at looking into companies?" Um, you'll get better at it the more you do it, and there'll be more things you start looking out for. Um, I think I'm currently rereading One Up on Wall Street, and I forgot how good of a book that is. So yeah, that might be something. I don't know if that's happening, Charlie. It's me says long-term investment wise goals investment wise. Yeah, I'd probably love to break a 1 mil mark. That would be very very good if I could get there. Um, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Trading with CJ says financial education for sure. The real go. Yeah, I mean, financial education was like probably the first YouTube channel that I did watch. And yeah, learn a lot of great stuff off him. Scott says Matthew Hughes decent. Yeah, I hope I say his second name right. Um, but yeah, I think I think he's pretty decent as well. Hate says is Amazon a good stock long term? 100%. Yeah, great stock. My Wall Street podcast. I'm not listening to that one. Scott says about what about Daniel Pronk? I know who he is. I don't think I have watched his videos though. So yeah. Darren says it's simply Wall Street worth the subscription. Yeah, 100%. The best thing to do is sign up and then do the trial, and then literally like in 3 weeks they'll send you a message have 30% 30% off, and you get it for like obviously a lot cheaper than I think it's like £8 normally. So yeah. Uh, Aled's World says what accounts do I have? So I've got a DEGIRO account that I use. That's obviously outside my ISA. I've got a trading 2 ISA. That's what I use for my ISA, and then I also have the trading 2 invest account. So yeah, I guess it's kind of three accounts, 2 brokers. Yeah. I can't help it. I am trying my best with these names. Oh, Dead Inside. Yeah, I've actually started watching a few of his videos. Yeah. See, you say some names and like, oh yeah. Um, yeah, I do watch some of his side. I've not heard of Chris Sane. Yeah, I've not heard of him. But yeah, Dead Inside, I do watch a little bit. Yeah. Do I do some swing trades? A little bit, yeah. But sometimes I buy companies that I do want to hold for the long term. But if it works out very quickly, um, yeah. Right, I am going to call it time there because I said this was going to be a half an hour stream, and it's 70 minutes. So good, gone double the time again, every time. I enjoy the live streams. I enjoy them, and it's 11 o'clock now. So I'm going to go make a cup of tea. I am going to edit my video. I'm going to go read a little bit of One Up on Wall Street, and I'm going to go to bed. So yeah, tomorrow I'm doing my US portfolio review and show my portfolio off, and uh, then I'll do my day after. I'll probably do 3 UK stocks to buy, and then the day after that I'll do my UK portfolio review. So those are probably the videos for the next 3 days. So if you joined the live stream and you made it all the way to the end, you got a little bit insight what the next 3 videos are going to be, I guess. Um, so yeah, there you go. There's a reward for sticking around listening to me for 70 minutes. So yeah, those are the videos. US portfolio tomorrow, 3 UK stocks to buy the day after, and then the UK portfolio afterwards anyway. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling on. There's 130 people in the stream. Let's get that like button up just a little bit. And thanks so much for spending your first day in 2021 here on the live stream with me. Have a good night. See you in a bit.